So let's say you've been doing abs for a while, but you're not really sure how to get them a little bit stronger. I'm going to show you a couple of ways to do that today. Hey you guys, so this really is for beginners who maybe have been doing abs for a while. Maybe you have a nice strong core stabilization system down, meaning your deep core stabilizers you've been working on with doing a lot of planking. You've been doing some rotational work. This is kind of the next step for people who are like, I feel like I've been doing the same things. I'm not really sure how to kind of take it to the next level. So what we're going to do is we're going to just talk about progressively adding weighted exercises, but also adding in tougher body weight exercises. It's really a combination of all of that. It's not just about throwing in heavy weights all the time. There's a lot of really tough body weight exercises that are really challenging and that can actually really increase the strength of your core. Okay, also adding a variety of exercises. So the first, I'm gonna show you 5 that I think are really, really good for kind of accomplishing this goal. Or at least I experienced that. Okay, the first one we're going to talk about is a weighted tricycle. I love this one because it really does target the lower abs, the deep core stabilizers. You're going to start on the ground, and all you're going to do is you're going to think about one leg is going to stay on the ground, but we're just going to lift one knee and we're going to lower. So you can either do these alternating or one at a time, however. So that's kind of the beginner. My goal is to make you a little bit stronger. So this one we are going to think about just adding a little bit of weight. This can be a 5-pound plate, whatever you feel comfortable with. This is 10 pounds here. So what I do is I normally just place it on my chest. I hold it at the base, so when I sit up, it stays in place. I usually do one leg at a time because I just feel like I'm kind of keeping that tension on the one side. So I'm sitting up and lowering back. So this is just adding more resistance for my chest to have to pull my abs up to meet my knee. So this is just, once again, I'm just adding that little bit of resistance here. So let's say I've done 12 on one side, I'm gonna move and do my other 12 here. Just adding that little bit of resistance makes a huge difference. I love those because we're kind of starting at the bottom of the abs first. Okay, next we're going to go into a weighted plank trifecta. These are going to get a little bit tougher. Now these you can actually start with no weight because they are tough, but once again, it's all about kind of strengthening and taking things up a notch. I'm just going to hold like an 8-pound weight. Once again, you can start with 3, 5, however much. We're going to start in a side plank. We're just going to raise up. Once you get here, you're just going to do some kick outs. So the goal here is to keep my hip raised. Even if you want to do just 5 or 6, then we're going to do a side leg raise. So this is where things are going to get a little bit tougher. Once you've done that, we're going to do a hip touch. We're going to touch the mat, raise, really push up, touch the mat, bring the other hip up high as you can. So even without weight, this is challenging. But adding a little bit of weight at the top is going to bring even more resistance. So that's kind of the goal with all of this, just adding that slight progressive resistance to start strengthening those muscles that we already have kind of strong, but we're going to make them a little bit stronger. Okay, next we're going to go into a half Bulgarian sit-up crunch. So with this one, we're going to hold our dumbbell up and overhead. We're just going to sit straight up. You're going to sit straight up. Once you're up, fully up, think about head and shoulders are going to be straight. You're just going to have a slight rotation, bringing your elbow to your opposite knee. You're going to push that back up, and then you're going to think about rolling your abs back down. Rolling up, rotate, back to the ceiling, back down. So once I've done my 12 to 15, I'm here on the other side, rotate, and down. So we're getting some good ab work here because we're rolling, really feeling it here. Rolling up, that slight rotation here, and back up to the top. Okay, weighted plate pass. Another one of my favorites. I love these. These to me almost feel like doing a plank, because not only is it hitting the front of my abs, it's really hitting my back, which we all know the core is all encompassing here. So what you're going to do is you're just going to lay straight on your back. I would start with a pretty light weight. These look easy, but they're not. I would also start with the weight closer to your knees. If they're way down here, it's going to put more torque on your lower back. I always make sure it's positioned up a little bit higher. Definitely have your hands behind your head, otherwise you're just going to go whoop. So hands behind the head. You're just going to think about flattening your legs out and bringing the weight back up. So you're really going to feel this not only on the front, but on the back. That's what's so great about this exercise. It's really strengthening both areas at once. And back up. So this one is one you definitely want to progress with a lighter weight. But it's super good because if you're always just adding weight here, what's happening? We're going to be really imbalanced after a while. We're going to set ourselves up for injury because this guy, maybe we're doing some planks, but he's not really getting any kind of weighted or anything else. That one really does. It's a great little worker for both of those guys. Okay, last, weighted plank push. So what you're going to do is, if you don't have a slider, just put these on a paper plate or a towel if you have a slick surface. We're going to get you into a plank. And what I love about this is it's a lot of times we can get really strong in a plank where we're like, okay, it's been a minute, you know, you're on the phone. So that means you're super strong. We need to start adding something else to your plank to make it a little bit more challenging. What you're going to do is you're just going to have this off to the side. You're going to get down into your elbow plank. You're going to grab this. My back is flat, my abs are tight. And initially you can just start out with less weight. Progressively you can add more. And you can lift one leg. So now we're really feeling that. Whew. Not only in the front or the back, but we're getting a little bit of movement. So we're kind of cranking up that plank out of just a normal, kind of isometric hold. It's not a lot of movement, but it's a little bit. So we're going to be here again. I'm thinking about keeping my head in a neutral position. If you want to raise that opposite leg. Whew. So once again, we're really working that lower back. Because once again, we don't always want to just load the front of our body. We have to make sure we're kind of loading the backs and the sides too. It's about being symmetrical. Whew. Okay, you guys. These are just some great exercises to kind of help you maybe to that next step of getting your abs a little bit stronger. Think about progressive. Using lighter weights, if you start at a 3, 5, 8, that's perfectly fine. That's the way it should be. It's all about baby steps and building that foundation. So I hope this was helpful. These are great exercises. I've had really good luck with them, so I hope you do too. Thanks for joining me today, you guys. Hey, check out Athlean-XX Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We put out some great exercises and workouts almost on a daily basis. And thanks for working out with me today.